Hey you guys, so it's been a long time since I did a shop tip. So I was working on a little project this morning and I thought this would be a good one for you. Now if you know this secret that I'm about to give, this is painfully obvious, but if you've never seen it, it's super cool. Now everybody's seen, hang on one second. Everybody's seen the trick where you take steel wool and white vinegar, mix it together, let the steel wool melt, and it becomes a stain. And it's a stain that interacts with the tannins in the wood. So the idea is it changes the color naturally to, you know, a driftwood gray, or ideally darker, you know, a dark brown or black even, depending on the wood. So I've used it in the past, and primarily on maple, and I would always get, there would be a lot of blue or even purple in the wood. Never quite satisfied with that. A couple times I did that as a base, then I sealed it and did a toner coat over it. Turned out really nice, but it wasn't exactly what I wanted. But I'm doing a new job, little commission piece of furniture, and I wanted to ebonize it. So when you look up ebonizing wood online, you find 5,000, probably more, videos and blogs and all different things that tell you to do exactly this. White vinegar with steel wool. However, there's a trick to this that was very hard to find, and because it was so hard to find, you guys may not know it. Again, if you do, I apologize for being obvious, but if you don't know it, this is very cool. I was excited about it. So take a look at how this works. All right, so again, you guys have seen this many times, I'm sure, but the idea is you take your steel wool, your vinegar, let your steel wool melt a few days, turns it to this dark tea color. And if you're using a lot, you want to strain this out because it gets bits of the metal from the steel wool all in here. But just for display purposes, I'm not going to filter. So you take this, you put it on your piece of wood, and this is maple, some tiger maple. Just put a little bit on, and you can see already, because of the tannins in the wood, it's reacting and changing the color. Now, a wood with more tannins, like white oak, it'll change it deeper and faster. So watch. Oops. Okay, so it's been about an hour and a half. This is mostly dry. But here's the problem with this. And this is what I've run into in the past. Now this is that piece of maple. And you can see, hopefully you can see it on the camera, there is a lot of blue in that. Even going to purple a little bit. In certain light it's more brown, but there's definitely a lot of blue in here. So that's just not going to work for most applications. So that's the maple. Now the white oak, this is still a little bit wet, but you can see as it dries, I mean this color is beautiful. It's a true brown. But if you want to go darker, what do? You just keep adding coats and coats and coats of this stuff? Well, unfortunately you can't. You can add another coat and it'll darken a little bit. But the problem is there's only so much tannin in the wood, so the results are limited. It's only going to go so dark on its own. Another problem is, and I've had this too on white oak in the past, that you can, if a piece goes dark, when it's dry, it looks very chalky. It's chalky and it's not as dark, obviously, as it was when it was wet. So how do you get that true ebonized wood without you know, going to an oil-based stain or an NGR stain, something like that. Here's the cool trick. Here's the tip that it took me so long to find. And by the way, before I forget, one safety note. If you make up a batch of this stuff, don't put it in an airtight container, because gases build up and your container will explode. So be very careful. I just left it in there. So again, here's the two pieces that I did this morning. And of course, keep in mind, if you want to only do a driftwood gray or a lighter color, then this stuff is perfect for that. And in fact, you don't have to mix it as dark as I did. You know, just put one piece of steel wool in your vinegar to get, if you're going for a lighter color. But again, if you're going for the true ebony color, an ebonized wood, this is the way to do it. And this, again, I'm just passing on knowledge. I didn't come up with this. I didn't figure it out. So this is a piece of black walnut. And I did this a couple of weeks ago. And it just went black. It went black, black, black. All the grain was hidden. This isn't probably the best wood to use this on, because it's expensive and it's just going to go jet black. But I sanded it down. I got kind of a cool antique finish out of it. So maybe I'll keep that in mind. But anyway, so this is the maple that I just did. This is the maple with the trick I'm about to show you. This is a piece of poplar. Look at that. That is as black as it can get. That's a piece of hickory. And this is a piece of white oak here. Now on this section, I put some Rubio Monocoat Pure on it just to seal it, see how it would look. So here's the big reveal. Here's the trick. This stuff right here. Bark tea. B-A-R-K-T. So I looked it up online after I found the one blog that mentioned it. Bark tea. I found it on Amazon, ordered it from these guys, and it's all it is ground up bark of this very specific tree. And I don't even know the name of the tree. But I got a pound of it for like $20. So that would last the rest of your life if you do. All right, so what you do with this stuff is, because there's a limited amount of tannin in any piece of wood, you have to add tannins to it. Tannins that will react with your solution. So that bark tea, that bark powder, you make a wash of that. On your raw wood, you just wash the wood with that. Let it soak in, let it dry. Then when it's dry, you do your coat or two of this. And it gets it almost this dark. But when those two coats dry, probably the next day, you do another quick wash with the bark tea. And that's what gives you that jet black, true ebonized wood, without having to go to a stain or an India ink or something like that. So when I found that, I was super excited, because I love using natural finishes, you know, oils and waxes, but that's how to do it. That's how to get that ebonized, a true ebonized wood. And as you saw, it works on anything. Maple, poplar, the hickory samples that I had there, the white oak. So that's a great tip that I found. Again, if you know it, I apologize, because it's super obvious to just add tannins to the wood. But if you didn't know it, now you do. And now we can all keep creating and enjoying the process. So that's the tip for today, finishing tip, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it helps. Hope it's something that you can use in your creations. All right, you guys take care. Bye. So hey, you guys, real quick edit. As I was watching the video, I realized that I never told you how to mix up the bark tea. So all you do, you take a teaspoon of it, put it into a cup of water, stir it up real good, and it dissolves. And that's what you use to put on the wood that you're wanting to introduce the tannins to. It's as easy as that. Bye.